City boy. Shit. Talk my shit part 3, nigga.
What's up, what's up? We in this bitch, not just B.
Hey, Lady Leo, I'm back at you. What's the word, B?
Shit, I can't call it, another week.
You can't, another
we here.
week? Well, guess what? I'm back.
We here, we back. Oh shit, that's the motherfucker that's on the...
That is.
Oh shit, damn, we didn't even recognize you for a second.
Kiss my narrow yellow.
We didn't recognize you for a
That's what you
second.
can
We
do.
thought you was somebody else. We thought you was sitting in and shit,
So how was your week, B?
It was cool, it was cool. Not too terribly busy. It wasn't too disrupting, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, what about you? What happened?
Shoot, well...
None on the weekend, nothing?
Oh, you know what? I did, come down to Smoky Face, just hang out or whatever. And the old lady gang was in here.
Old lady gang? What is that? Is that a 50 and up crowd?
Man, they was in here cutting up.
Is that a 50 and up crowd?
Goodness.
You was a participant of the 50
I was
and up
not.
crowd? Nigga got an ARP card, y'all.
I do. I'm excited to have one of those.
That motherfucker's in the club, y'all. Goddamn.
Hey, when you get one, you'll know why.
Hey, okay then.
You'll know
Shit,
why.
lace me,
To
please.
live this long and
Please,
to be able
Lace
to say I have lived this long is awesome. How many decades have I lived through?
Log it up, too many.
You know what, Kiss?
Shit.
Yeah, we not gonna even go there. So anyway,
What you saying?
my week was good.
You was with Jesus.
I can't. You got jokes today. So you started without me.
Hey, we in this bitch. Pre-game starts way early. I told you it was Henny 30 earlier.
Every time
you was late,
this
goddamn.
week comes, B starts without me. And I try to figure out, why is he on one? Because you want to
you
pregame
ain't
it.
on
Because
time.
that's not the rules. The
'Cause
rules
you late.
is we do it together.
You late. You always late. Is that a blonde thing? Is that what it is?
Oh, well,
that's a blonde thing?
okay.
You're always late.
Well, I have more fun than you, so
You just might. Oh, you just might.
I do. So anyway, the week in Kansas City is going good. Playoffs is happening.
I know.
Games
Say it
happening.
right. Say it right. The Chiefs.
Themselves, I
Chiefs.
guess, they in
Chiefs.
it. My
Yo,
49ers,
yo,
go
dyslexic.
49ers, go
The 40
Niners.
who?
Go Niners.
Bang bang, not.
Oh,
Niner gang.
we gonna
Niner gang.
kick Dallas
Not
ass.
Niner
So all
gang.
you Dallas fans out
Bang,
there,
bang,
we gonna kick your ass.
We hope you
And
do.
then-
We you know what though?
What?
We hope Dallas whoop y'all ass because Dallas is a little
Dallas
more
ain't gonna
easier
do
than
shit.
y'all. You know
Dallas
what I'm
ain't gonna
saying?
do nothing. What you think?
So I think Dallas gonna take care of them Niners. You know.
Damn.
Get on over there on the
That's
other
what
side.
I'm saying.
I'm
Hey.
just saying.
You get on the other side.
Call it what it
I
is.
didn't bet
Call
with
it
my
what
heart
it
in
is.
Football perspective.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, you know,
Damn.
there you have it. That's what they gave me. I don't know, but we'll see. Taking all bets. We don't
Why
bet.
you sitting up here just talking to the guests? You ain't even let nobody introduce
I
the
did
guests.
it.
or
I
nothing,
did
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
My apologies.
Damn, my man up
But,
here.
you know, I just had to get his opinion.
We got
because he
some
looked like he
audience
had
up here or
something to say.
something. Where's the
I do.
crowd control at? You know what I'm saying? Damn, we got the audience just sitting on the goddamn
We do have
couch
a
and
special
shit.
guest
Nah, real
gracing our
shit though.
presence.
Real shit though. Real shit.
No,
My
this
man
is how we
here.
do. So,
My man here, Na'im.
Na'im.
How we
Mr.
doing?
Na'im, what's going on, man?
Peace.
Look. Go ahead, do your shit.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Now I can't even talk. Look at that.
Damn.
I'm excited.
You
I'm
sitting,
excited.
you sitting next to a blonde nigga. That shit's contagious. That shit contagious.
He coming for
Be
me.
careful. That's why, look, that's why I'm so
You know what? Are
respectful
you
over
gonna
there.
let our guests talk? Are you gonna
Nah,
let our
it's
guests talk?
energetic.
Or are you
It's
gonna
magnetic.
clown our guests?
No, it's magnetic. No, I'm excited to be here. Na'im Al-Amin, founder and CEO of SWAGG INC. You know, I feel like this is home. We in this bitch. We got Just B, Lady Leo.
Yes.
You mind if I get comfortable?
Get comfortable.
I'm good.
Please do, man. We in this bitch, shit.
We
We in this bitch, shit.
Let's do that.
Do what you gotta do.
You ain't got this.
You need some flame? You need some flame?
We got flame. We live in
Well, you a cold nigga, boy. You know they say about cold steel. It's hard to move, hard to work with,
how we
man.
do.
You're a cold nigga, man.
No doubt, no doubt.
Please do, man.
Yeah, excited to be here though. Again, founder and CEO of SWAGG INC. I'm also a returning citizen or somebody that has been incarcerated and returned to the community. And so like throughout my experiences, you know, what I found is that it's all about ownership. And so that's what I want to talk about and share my story, some of the things that I've been through, which, you know, we can go on a journey through foster care, gang life in prison, and on to the vehicle of social entrepreneurship. You know what I'm talking about?
Real life activity, man. Real life
go.
activity, man. That's what's
Okay.
up, man. What's
Yeah.
up with the SWAGG INC though? I heard you mention that in the beginning. What's up with the break that down for us real quick,
That's a
man.
great
Just break
question.
it down. Break it down for us.
Great question.
Let
So
it be
SWAG
broke,
Inc.
goddammit.
Let it do it. Let's do it. Let's break it. So SWAG Inc. It stands for Serve, Witness, and Give Guidance. Inspiration never ceases. And it is a nonprofit that I created that introduced a new business model in the mass incarceration space.
Okay.
And so what we do, we promote ownership for people impacted by mass incarceration.
Need that.
And we do that through developing returning citizens or people that are incarcerated through education, employment etiquette, and entrepreneurship. And that's one of the approaches that we have. The other approach, what we do is never go in. We create market value assets in the after school program setting with our partners at KCPS. We in Central High School, you know what I mean? Go Central. You know what I mean? KCPS decided to keep us open. Shout out to KCPS. And so what that looks like is creating a pipeline to careers through our employment partners. For example, J.E. Dunn Construction, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and Goodwill and Industries. Also, we bring in the entrepreneurial ecosystem to turn those students' hustles into businesses. We bring in coding, robotics, technology, and also trauma-informed care, so we can heal, you know what I mean, from the things that are, you know, causing us trauma.
You bringing them back to life, man. You know what I'm saying? You resuscitating motherfuckers around here, man.
You know?
We like that.
They'll call you the paramedics in a minute, nigga.
Like
Shit. God damn, nigga, they need that kind of life.
I mean, shit. The hardest part is climbing out the grave. You know
Facts,
what I'm saying?
big facts,
And
big
you
facts.
need a ladder to do that, in my
Yeah,
opinion. So
yeah.
for me, the 10 rungs on my ladder are dysfunction, trauma, poverty, systemic racism, disenfranchisement, foster care, gang life in prison, and then social entrepreneurship is how I created that 1% for me, and I've been able to level up and elevate the status of the people around me. I'm new to the KC area, you know what I mean? I'm from the Crenshaw District, South Central Los Angeles.
For sure, for sure.
So Kansas City has been good to me, you know what I mean? It's been a life-saving environment, just a lot of beautiful people. For example, we got my team here. Shout out to Michael Drone, you know, FNC Productions. Also, our client / pre-entry coordinator, Joshua Hunter. Bro just came home. You know what I mean? And so, like, we're really out here in the community, boots on the ground, you know, elevating.
Putting in that work, man. Shit.
So what made you come to Kansas City to have this adventure that you were doing?
It's a really great question. And so, like, for me, my journey, you know, I've been to prison 3 times as an adult, 18, 21, and 35. And that timeline, you know, was in 2001, I was 18. And when I was 21, it was 2004, and then 35 in 2014. And so ultimately what transpired was after I graduated at Kansas State University with 3 degrees, I had a Bachelor of Science in Sociology, a BS in Criminology, and AS in Psychology, no employers would hire me. Right, because I had a prior conviction for marijuana the first time I went to prison.
Okay.
Right, and so as I started back selling drugs, you know, I'm in, you know, that position that I want to be in. It's an indulgent time where I took more than I gave, you know. But you know, the first rule of nature is self-preservation.
Yeah.
And so I had to revisit that, you know, those elements, and so it was disheartening. But nevertheless, on that journey, I had a legacy conversation with someone that changed my life. From 2010 to 2013, after I graduated, no employer hired me, 0 for 200, right? And so I happened to go back home to Los Angeles to get some more drugs to bring back to the Midwest. And, you know, I ran across the homie Nipsey, who was on the verge of signing his first music deal. And so, you know, first of all, SIP, the Nipsey Hussle, Aramis Asphodon, we miss you, bro. The marathon continues through us.
All right.
For sure.
But I pulled up on bro, and I asked him, I was like, bro, who you gonna sign with, Rick Ross or some other record label? And he was like, for me, it's about patience. I know the moment that I signed that contract, my life changes forever. It's about ownership, creating a long-term plan, and elevating the status of the people around you. That's what's important to me.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, I went to prison for a 5-year sentence right after that conversation. I then turned state evidence on my partner, you know, so I went to prison for conspiracy to distribute cocaine right after graduating college. Served the 5 years, wrote my business plan there, but that's what brought me to Kansas City, Missouri after I was released. I was in Kansas. And so I've been to every prison in the state of Kansas. In the max, the minimum, medium kind of situation. And, you know, so I was released from prison March 22nd, 2018, homeless, geographically displaced, and without any money. Like, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a historical analysis of the city, no landmarks. I didn't have any, you know, social capital, right? But I wrote my business plan when I was incarcerated. But, yeah, that's what it looked like for me.
Okay.
Man, you done been down the whole line. Look like, you know, there's a lot of cats out here in the streets right now that, if not going through it, either been through it or headed towards it, that's going through it, man. And you really showing the fact and the idea that this is not the end of the road. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother extra part that you can really get into that can change and turn your life around. Obviously, as you've done, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're a damn living example, man. You technically a legend, you know what I mean? For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, man. That's a good thing for the black man. Cause you know how we do, man. Shit, we already got stripes.
And how you learned and you made your business plan. So how did you come up with this business plan? What was your thought in coming up with this plan?
That's a really, really, really great question. That's a $64,000 question.
Well, shit.
It's like $1 million question.
Cash that motherfucker.
Cash out.
That bitch. Cash out.
But I would like, I'm sure everybody would like to know what, like, inspired you to be like, hey, this is it. This is the last job. Let me draw this plan out.
Right. Yeah, I was in prison at 34. I got sentenced April 21st, 2014 to 5 years for not testifying against my friend. Okay. And so every player in the courtroom, the judge, the bailiff, the public pretender, the prosecutor, you know what I'm saying, the bailiff, everyone knew that I did not commit a crime. You feel me? But they still shot me to prison. And so at that time, you know, the next morning was April 22nd. That's a couple dope days, dope situations, April 22nd. So it's Earth Day, and then it's also my birthday.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was dope. You feel me?
Shit,
but
yeah, we up here about to cut a line real quick. Drop a high 16, Earth Day, birthday. We finna rip in this motherfucker. Hold on, go ahead
you know
with
what
it.
I'm saying? But, you know, I also woke up at 35 to a fresh 5-year sentence. Right? And so 3 college degrees, 2 daughters, an aging mother, and like, what are you gonna tell me like the future looks like for me?
Shit.
You know what I mean? I got, you feel me, bro, the void. And so, but I have that conversation with Nipsey. First of all, that conversation shot right over my head. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I didn't understand the language that he was using. I hadn't heard someone speak that way. And so I'm a second generation gang member. I got put on rolling 60s in 1992. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey came around the hood around 2001, and so it's that decade, you know, that generation apart. So he's a third generation. And so looking at what bro was able to do, I'm looking at him on MTV, BET, performing. And I'm looking at my A1s, who's this is day ones, on stage with him, you know what I mean, having businesses in the Crenshaw district where I grew up. And I'm like, this is crazy. And as the more I got to listen to his interviews, hear his music, people singing his music on the runs, I got to understand his mindset, and I understood that I didn't speak in the language that he understood, and that I had to go back and give my yes. Because I got, you know what I'm saying, status from where I'm from.
Yeah.
You feel me? And bro's like, would be like the little homie, and so it was really impactful that he told me no. You know what I mean? In fact, when I asked him for his number, you know what I mean? And so kind of, you know, it went like this. I was buying merch from the Marathon store, and, you know, I was like, well, shit, after he said, you know, the legacy conversation with me, what I said again, bro said that it's all about patience, ownership, creating a long-term plan, and elevating the status of the people around you. And the next thing I said was like, yo, bro, I'm getting some work. I'm about to shoot back to the Midwest. You want to invest? And he was like, fuck no, I'm focused on this music. You feel me?
Okay.
And I was like, well, let me get your number and I'll hit you next time I'm in the city. And bro was like, no. And he just stared at me, and I had just spent, you know what I'm saying, like a rack with bro. So he was like, no.
He was feeling kind of like, wait a minute, what the fuck happened?
And so like what happened though, like we went outside of the Marathon store, and we were standing in the very spot that he transitioned this life from the next. And before I could like ask bro to take a picture with me or any other questions, it was like a swarm of people just came. They jumped out of their cars, parked them in the middle of the street. They ran up with their phones, asking bro to take his picture. And you know, that was like something I never seen before in my life. And so I'm in prison, and I'm like, well, shit, I need to write a business plan, and hopefully bro will invest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was my ace in the hole. Like, if I can do one thing.
Oh shit, wait a minute. Hold on.
Shot.
You know the rules of the we in this bitch. We in this bitch. You got to shut up, you know what I'm talking about? What's up? Damn lady, you was real thirsty nigga. Thirsty ass nigga.
Like it's amazing. It's a show. But I mean, everybody in the audience is like shots, and we love it. We love it.
Yeah, what we got to do.
We in this
we
bitch,
came
man.
in to
That's a
do too.
statue. That's a statue.
That's part of the process.
Hey, we had this
Man,
slight
so
interruption.
you sitting there, and you was like, you gonna write this plan, and it's like, okay, I need him to invest.
Right. It was my ace in the hole, but not only that, you know, I went to prison in April. I got sentenced April 21st. My cousin, Paul Richardson Jr., he got drafted by the Seahawks April 21st. And so I had an opportunity, like while in prison, not only seeing Nip going on his marathon, but I'm watching my cousin catch football passes on Sunday from Russell Wilson. And I'm sitting in my bunk like, fuck this, I need to write a plan.
This ain't it. This ain't
You want
it.
to go the
This
other
ain't
way
it.
next? Okay.
Got some
Yeah.
inspiration, man. Major
That light bulb
inspiration.
popped on, and
It
you
did.
like,
And it was 8 letters. SWAGG INC. Serve, witness, and give guidance. Inspiration never ceases. And it was
Damn.
like, what do? You know what I mean? Because I had never like been in a situation that I created anything. And that's the takeaway from this conversation. That's the legacy piece. I moved from looking from someone looking to give me an opportunity to create one for myself, for my family, for my prosperity, my posterity, and being able to do that for the community.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was so impactful. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was using the 5 principles of design thinking, which is a social entrepreneur's approach to creating a business. And so the 5 principles are empathy, ideate, prototype, define, and test. But under the empathy piece, what I was able to do was, you know, like reconcile with myself, like what I was going through, like what I was responsible for, what I wasn't, to develop that ownership, but then able to connect with other men, something that I would never done, right? Talk to somebody about what's going on with them. You know what I mean? Like, what would you need to be successful leaving prison, and what would that look like? And so the main thing that came out of those conversations, and that's what you do, you start from the pain points of your clients or your customers when you're looking to introduce a product or a service. So it's not retail, it's not sale. You know, you looking to, you know, create purpose and profitability. Right. You know what I mean? That's the goal through that vehicle of ownership. And so the main thing that came up recurrently was that if only I had a gig before I got out of prison.
Man.
You feel me, bro?
Hey, that's a good 9 toes out before you even got out.
You good.
Shit.
You know, you get to, you know, have ownership, and so, and not have technical violations going back to prison, creating that system of mass incarceration, which that's the front door of. You know, these POs, you know, navigating and creating narratives that control our lives, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keeping us under the banner that we're not even really included in the Constitution anyway, but the 13th Amendment, you know what I mean, where, you know, there's no crime punishable, you know, you're gonna have to be a slave kind of thing. Self-servitude.
That dirty shit.
You feel me? And that applies to black people, if you will, which is not a color, which is a color and not, you know, a nationality. It's a status. And so, you know, just navigating through all those things, you know, was one thing that I needed to do, or had to do.
Man, shit, looked like you was already on the path before you even hit out the gate. And you was already at it, man. This shit, that sounds like some positivity, man.
Let's see if we have any audience members have any questions. Do you know anybody who would need his services or anything like that? Any questions or anything, anyone?
Bring it to the forefront. What's on your mind?
Because, I mean, this,
well,
this is
if
like,
it ain't no questions, then tell us about what you think about this whole little, you know. All right, run with it.
Do you get a lot of work? Do you get a lot of people that come to you and, you know, need your services or your help or your influence?
It's a really great question, and so kind of, you know, it's an opportunity for me to elaborate like what we do or how we got to do what we do. And so as I said, I was released March 22nd, Brody, and Lady Leo, you know, 2018, homeless, geographically displaced without any money. Ultimately, I got hired at UPS as a package handler, and within 4 months, I got promoted to human resources. Okay. And so...
Big step.
You hear me? It was, it was huge.
Big step. That ain't that easy.
And so while I was also transversing through the entrepreneurial ecosystem, developing my business plan, I submitted it to the C-suite. They saw value, allowed me to work autonomously, co-brand, UPS, SWAGG INC, and focus my hiring initiatives on people that were impacted by mass incarceration
wow.
like me, and that led to a partnership with the 44 districts of probation and parole in Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
Right, and so over a year, I was able to create a proofing concept where I increased retention, or we didn't lose any employees by 70%, attendance by 50%, and zero recidivism, meaning none of our clients went to prison. And that also applied to the youth piece we were doing as I was in Central High School, hiring those students, their parents, and even some of the administration, and then we would develop them, help them create businesses and that thing up until COVID, which led into our after-school program. But we also increased the graduation rate, the attendance rate, and then also increase in wages and livelihood. And so that's how,
you ultimately became the employment plug,
Right, that's what I'm
saying. For the lack of a better term, you got you fucking with the drugs, you got the plug, and then you got the employment. That's what swing that motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's what's up. Hold on, wait, hold on. We got something. Hold on.
We
What's going
somebody
on?
who want to say something.
What's going on?
Hi.
How we doing, love?
I got a question.
Okay.
Okay, I heard you speak on your life, and I heard you say a lot of things that you were offering to do. You had a spectacular life so far. What would you tell someone at 21, like you said, it's kind of like that's when your life kind of swirled or kind of went astray? What would you tell another 21-year-old before they took those steps or made those decisions that you made at 21? What would you tell that young man or that young woman to help them not prolong their agony or prolong their steps? You know what I'm saying? Their journey. What could you tell them to help them with their journey? To keep them from stepping over here and just keep stepping straight. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am. That's a really great question, and I appreciate that. And so, the way that I would answer that is that it's about authenticity, right? And the root word of authenticity is oro, which is authority, and we have the ability to control our destinies. And so what we have to do is be able to come from a place of, purity, and how we arrive at that is not being a derivative of someone else's narrative. We also need a support system, right? And we have to have a plan to be able to, create that future that we're looking for, to have that ownership, right? And that we have to think in a timeline of decades. And so that's going to require patience. And the first thing I think, it ties into is, we have to have love. We have to find a way to be love, if we're, people go through different things, but if we're going through trauma, we have to find a way to reconcile that. And so what I like to say is that what my program does is turn, hurt people. But with my program, my HOPES program, Healing, Ownership, Planning, Employment, Sustainability, what that offers is, hurt people can heal. Yeah. So that's a really great question because, a 21-year-old, that's the youth. Yeah. That's our future.
Yeah. They at that finish line at that point.
Absolutely.
Do I go this way or do I go that way?
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't have that support that you were speaking of. A lot of people don't have that. So they can't stay grounded. Or, their focus is always, well, what is he thinking? Well, I like his thoughts. Let me do his thoughts, but it may not lead to where you need to be. So I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, your process of thinking from the age of 21 to now is spectacular. So I was also wondering, did you have speaking engagements that you speak on it? You know what I'm saying? Try to help someone else kind of, don't be so radical. Just take your time, think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you do a lot of seminars?
So a really great question, and I appreciate that, and thank you for that compliment. I am a keynote speaker on diversity, equity, inclusion for returning citizens. I do a lot of speaking engagements. I have a budget or a rate. And in fact, one of the things that we're working on as a team is my memoir, Returning Citizen from Debtor to Owner. And one of the things I've been able to do is take this book that I've written and take a chapter called Don't Rodney King Me and create a 4-minute and 3-second or so docu-film, which is designed to eliminate ignorance and elevate knowledge on mass incarceration's impact on Black histories and Black futures. But I was like, me and my creative team, what we've been able to do is create a revenue generating model out of that. Like the book isn't even published yet, right? And so, you know, it's listed on Eventbrite. It's $100 per ticket. That's at large. But if I'm doing it for like corporations, you know, then that's $100 per person. Or, you know, depending, you know, if it's a training, then, you know, that rate changes because it's an individual thing. I'm not doing a generalization, right? And so just knowing that approach, but yes, I am developing that. I'm a part of the National Speaking Association in Kansas City as well.
I think you got a lot to say.
That's what's up.
Thank you, I
I
appreciate
just want to
that.
say I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I know not just being lady, I know I'm on my motherfucking 2 minutes.
Oh, oh shit.
But I
Oh
want
shit.
experiences and I appreciate that.
Oh shit.
Thank you.
Damn, man. That was a great comment though. Great comment.
Clowning.
Hey, she put you on blast. We in this bitch. She put you on blast. We in this bitch.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got one more audience member who would like to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah. What's going on? Hold y'all. Let's see what's going on.
So, is Kansas City, Missouri the only spot that you work with, and you know, people that came out that was incarcerated? Do you work with Kansas people? Because I'm from Wyandotte, and I know a lot of people
I need to
that
talk
just
to you.
got out that probably could use your help. So I don't know if you was just, you know, strictly
Based.
KC Mo Jackson County, or was you know, both sides of the fence, you know, Kansas and Missouri?
So yeah, Brody, yep, we are doing work in Kansas. We have partnerships in Kansas. And so for example, and we are in Jackson County. And so what the model looks like is 50 states, 50 prisons, exit with SWAG, right? And so what we're going to be able to do, what we do is work with our clients 1 year prior to them releasing from prison, and then 1 to 3 years in the community to help them discharge probation and parole. And within that, we connect our clients to employment partners, for example, the J. Dunn, right?
Yeah.
Big Brothers Big Sisters,
Yeah.
Goodwill Industries, doing something that these organizations in their 100 years have never ever done, is hire people before they get out from prison.
Man.
Right? And the
Shit.
one relationship that
That's
we
life.
have with, right?
Shit.
The one relationship that we have with J. Dunn Construction puts us in 24 states. And I just did a Midwest dialogue for 300 employees virtually, you know, which I was compensated for as well, to describe to them, you know, our program, our model, which is a returning citizens apprenticeship program. Right? And so, yes, I would love to partner with you. You know what I mean? Be able to help people over in Kansas, right?
That's what's up.
That'd be dope.
That's
To the
what's up.
ownership piece. And so, you know, we're a 501c3 tax exempt entity, right? And so we leverage that ability, but we don't use that as a feasibility model in terms of making money, right? Because you're looking at granting, fundraising, donations, right? Donors, fundraisers. And that's money you can't control for. And it doesn't allow you to be nimble,
Can't
agile, and control your destiny. So what I did, you know, in my HR role at UPS, I also ended up getting a master's in human resources that they paid for. And just being in that social entrepreneurial ecosystem space, I was able to create a revenue generating model where these employers compensate us per client, right? And so, for example, if we're upskilling in the construction craftsman trades, when our clients start the first day, we receive 10% of the annual. That averages 50 to 60K, so we will receive 5K on day one, and that's per person, right? If we're doing just direct retention support, right, with our employment partners, then we receive $32.50 over a 6-month timeline.
That's dope. That's dope.
Oh, wow.
Real quick, if you could throw us out, I don't know if you're able to disclose it, but you know, just a few of the company names that you deal with, so somebody can get an idea of the type. Really, because some people might not know J. Dunn and things like that. Just, you know, saying some real quick stuff, and then lace us down with, you know, the ways to contact you if you can. We can throw that up in here. That way, you know, they know how to reach out, see what's happening.
Absolutely, yeah. So other companies that we're working with, again, we're working with Hallmark. Also, we're in conversations with Lockton, and we're also getting into the manufacturing space.
Okay.
And so one thing that we want to do is be able to create a pipeline to careers, also develop, you know, entrepreneurs that are incarcerated. right? That's very important. You want to get in contact with SWAGG Inc., you can visit our website at swag2gsinc.org. We're also located at 4327 Truth Avenue inside of Equal Minded Cafe. We have a support group every Sunday for families or people impacted by mass incarceration from 10 a.m. to 11.
That's what's up. Nah, just big.
Hey, Lady Leo.
We in this
We in
bitch.
this bitch.
Run that up, Rico. City boy. Shit.